Buenas noches. Esta semana, como mencioné, les traemos el podcast desde Ciudad de México, México.
So, as you can see, I am now speaking Spanish because we are in Mexico, and I am actually doing a podcast because I am exhausted from walking around this town doing just a million things.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
Great city. If you ever get a chance to come here, do it. It's wonderful.
What the hell is he wearing?
Down here.
What is that?
Oh, okay. Let's just talk about that. Obviously, the Cardinals representing MLB. Mexico series is happening right now. I'm not going. It was the Astros and the Rockies. Astros people all over the city. Not a single Rockies fan. A little bit easier to get here from Houston. But anyway, getting to the point of what am I wearing? Psh, of course I'm wearing a poncho. I'm wearing my St. Louis Cardinals poncho. Like, let's not pretend like you don't have one. Like, every good fan has a Cardinals poncho. Now, this poncho came from the Mexican series a few years ago. I did not go, but when they offered up a Cardinals Mexican poncho, I'm buying one, so I got one, and it's pretty kick-ass. And I'm in Mexico, so I'm going to do as the Mexicans do. I get some funny stares as I walk around town in this, though. No, I don't leave the room. Nope. Anyway, I'm going to try and do an abbreviated podcast this time. I'm really seriously going to try because my wife, I've kicked her out of the room, and I'm trying to get this thing recorded, and we've got other stuff we want to do, and blah, blah, blah. So let's just get right down to it. But before we get to game recaps, I got to apologize. Last week, I screwed up. Well, I didn't screw up. My interns, my staff, they screwed up. And there's repercussions. There are repercussions when somebody makes the mistake they made. And here, let's just go straight to the mistake. It's true. The podcast used the wrong pictures for the wrong people, wrong teams. And it's just unacceptable. Now, I apologize on behalf of the podcast, even though it was my production team that screwed up. The buck doesn't always stop here. Sometimes the buck stops with the stupid interns. Anyway, let me just show you a little bit of how we fix the problem.
If you do come back, this job won't be here for you.
I hope you're right.
I am right. You're fired.
Why? I mean, I already quit, so.
No, you're fired. I write the book, okay? Here's how it went down. You walked in, you're fired.
All right, Dan, thanks for being so mature about this and professional.
I was very professional. You're fired.
All right.
Get out. Get out of my sight.
And this.
You call yourself a salesman, you son of a bitch? I don't gotta listen to this shit.
You certainly don't, pal. Because the good news is you're fired.
I mean, no one was safe. I cleared house. Literally every single person that works on this podcast was let go.
You do what and you are who?
I'm Dennis O'Rourke, Senior Vice President of Marketing, Research, and Development.
Really? Wow. Is that supposed to impress me?
I hope so.
Well, you're fired.
What did I do?
You're fired for looking stupid. Now get your ass out the door. I said get your ass out.
We're just not having that level of quality on this show. This is supposed to be a top tier podcast, and we just can't have that kind of stuff happening. So, you know what? It didn't even matter. The sales team was crap at getting advertising. Even when we brought in the AI, they couldn't get anything going. And we're now in the process of hiring new interns. I'm really excited about these two interns. When I asked them to give me a presentation on what they bring to the podcast, like, a professional presentation, sell yourself and tell me what you can bring and what you can do with this podcast. And
management,
financial portfolios, insurance,
computers,
black leather gloves,
research and development, putting in the man hours to study the science of what you need.
Last week we put liquid paper on a bee and it died.
Security,
and
investors.
All right. Look, I know they're not the best candidates, but when you've got a podcast with an audience of like 12 people and you're shooting for a max of like 16, and that includes yourself, the candidates just aren't like jumping at the podcast. Okay, so anyway, that's what we got. That's what we're going to be working with, and hopefully they can help us going forward. You're going to see some changes on this episode, though, because I fired everybody. I'm on my own. I'm in Mexico City, and had to take some steps back. So one of the things we're doing this week, so we don't make any mistakes with faces, is you're going to see all text. When we do these game recaps, all text. I don't have production assistants. I don't have interns. It's just me. And, you know, that mistake was just dreadful. So anyway, let's go forward into last week. What happened? We had four new admittance into Club 500. We had five, well, I think we had 4 new ones and 5 total. And yeah, let's just celebrate those 4 new folks. Congratulations, guys. That's great. Club 500 is a way to be. It's a place to be. Some of us have been here before.
No.
Him again.
That's right, me again.
Yeah, I know. Hashtag. I know hashtag Bearded Dragons is sitting there being like, what about me? It isn't fair. I've had enough. And yep. We were never going to forget you. I just didn't want to taint your 600 club 600, with mention of you in the 500 club. It's actually paying you respect by not mentioning you. Anyway.
But while we're on the subject of how I'm superb and leagues above you, ought to know I'm number 1. I know that might be hard to swallow. This hurts you just as much as me. But when this song is sung, then you and I'll know that you're just a nobody.
Okay, so let's get into straight the game recaps. First one's first. Team J to the P gets their first win over Breaking Brad. It's one of those sad wins where you're like the lowest scoring team, the lowest scoring competition for the week, and you don't even win. You have to rely on a tiebreaker. This no crying, no tying and baseball stuff the commissioners got going on. You basically were the home team, so you're given like the winner participation. Anyway, here, game film. Okay, so on the flip side of that, we've got ADB, Arizona Diablos Blancos, no longer hashtag Arizona, hashtag Blanco, Diablos, hashtag Blancos, whatever. I appreciate you changing the name back. Not really, it's fun, I don't really care. But Arizona Diablos Blancos was the largest margin of victory as opposed to what we just saw. This was quite the contest over Brick City Mules, and yeah. So let's go to some special tape on celebrating ADB's largest margin of victory this week. So not the largest margin of victory, but the highest point scorer was hashtag Bearded Dragons. We already talked about the 600 club. And his topple of Team TNT is having some struggles recently. Now, what I really wanted to do, since I'm down here in Mexico City, and last Friday I went to see the Lucha Libre, I was going to actually take some of the film that I took while I was there and use that entirely for the game recaps, but I just don't have time while I'm down here, and that kind of sucks. So anyway, but to pay homage to the Lucha Libre world, we're going to take a look at Red Wine Redbirds and Honey Nut Cheerios game in Lucha Libre form. in a game that pretty much is forgotten by all because it didn't really have any notable events, was Bat Flippin' Boys topping Team Auto Draft.
Frederick W. Polowatsky. Ogre, you asshole. Ogre.
Oh, we also had an event. Our power ranking #1 team, Raleigh Fingers Your Sister, fell. Like, lost. Like 1 week.
Only gave me frostbite, 50,000 on my gym chart, see just what Chanel like. Junkies knocking at my window, they love what it smell like. Brody send like 30 through the air, we get the mail right. My bitch hold my strap all in her purse, she like female dyke. Made it something I can't.
Another close match, one that everybody was watching down to the last moment, and that was Grip It and Rip It's topping of Hit Pitches, Get Bitches. Not sure that's a repeatable win, I gotta tell you. Some of the stuff that happened there at the end of the week. But anyway, a win's a win. Congratulations. Oh, and lastly, but not least, by any mention. No, actually, it is least. ALD3 Sour Grapes. So close. So close. 3 points. 3 points. And I don't even know if you were the home team, but let's assume you were. 3 points to a tie. No tying in baseball. You get the win. Anyway.
You almost suckered me in. I started to believe in your promises that we had a chance. What chance?
And that brings us to a new segment. The segment that I like to call, has ALD3's Sour Grapes been eliminated from the playoffs yet? Who are you?
Hey!
What the fuck?
Hey,
what the?
don't be an
How
asshole.
did you get in here? Who are
Don't
you?
be an asshole. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Okay, I'm if you guys don't hear me
Picking
for
on my
more
guy?
than a couple days,
Picking on
I don't know.
ALD3 Sour Grapes? Get the hell out of here. Get the fuck out of my face. All right, now, we're not going to let anybody be picking on ALD3 right now. I got some stats for you, bitch. Yeah, these are the numbers. So what we got here, we got ALD3 Sour Grapes. Hey, if your team's name is Krusty Brand Baseball, Breaking Brad, Hit Pitches, Get Bitches, Team J to the P, Brick City Mules, or what is that? What is Team Auto Draft? Anyway, don't talk trash. You got less points scored than ALD3 Sour Grapes does. And also, if your team name, oh my God, there's only 3 teams that have more points scored against them than ALD3. Team J to the P, hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragons, and Team TNT. That's it. Everybody else has just a fraction of the stuff that's been scored against ALD3. So you stop picking on my boy. And if you do, if I hear you picking on him, I'm coming for you. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
What was that? I don't. Was that in human English? I don't know what any of that means. I don't know why this person's yelling at me.
That's right. It is Joey Gallo time. Folks, Joey Gallo time, and I know that I'm promising you not to keep going with this Joey Gallo thing, but there's just too much news to skip it this week. So here's what we got, and I'm going to speed through it really quickly. We've got a situation, we know from the previous that ADB had added Joey Gallo. Big mistake, whatever. Already talked about it. Then all of a sudden we have this coming this week, we have this, and you'll see here, I'll read it to you. Red Wine Redbird says, I'm going to trade for Gallo, and I'm going to put them in my lineup. And he's going to crush a couple bombs this week, which will carry to my victory over over basically churros, Honey Nut Cheerios. He also adds this. It would make a great podcast story for the matchup of the week to have Gallo somehow carry me to victory. I can just see Boyd's head. Right? So let's see how this plays out. Let's see how this we know how this plays out, but let's just check it out. Here you go. So here's the situation, right? We've got, as you look here, we got the trade from Diablos Blancos on April 25th. So the first day Redwine Redbirds can actually start Gallo is April 25th. And then 2 days later, Redwine Redbirds drops Gallo. That is what we call foreshadowing. That's going to tease the plot a little bit. Let's go to Joey Gallo. Let's go to the tail of the tape. And here you go. Right here, you'll see. Okay, on the 21st, Gallo doesn't play. He's on ADB's team, so we don't care. 423, still on ADB's team. Look at this. It doesn't get any better than this, folks. Look at this. Gallo goes 0 for 0. No runs, no home runs, no stolen bases, no runs. But he still scores 2 points. ADB got the dream situation. Joey Gallo got a walk. He showed up, played it once, and got a walk. He got 2 points for his walk. ADB is just ecstatic. And the irony of it all is wonderful. Love it, love it, love it. Gallo got a walk for ADB. Is 2 points, and ADB's got to be happy.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
So ADB throws him out there again on the 24th, and Gallo does what he does, -3 points. Trade happens, goes to Redwine Redbirds. You'll see on the 25th, -1 point. On the 26th, -3 points. That's also right about when he gets injured, because on the 27th, Redwine Redbirds drops him. Yep.
That is one big pile of shit.
Okay, now we got Gallo on the injured list, and we've got another Eskimo brother, right? Redwine Redbirds has joined the Eskimo Brotherhood, and we also Taco is turning into a good sponsor. He's got another ad here, but it's also well, here I'll let you see the ad, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it.
Hi, I'm Taco, President and CEO of Taco Corp. And I want to welcome you to the world's first Eskimo Brothers database bed and breakfast, the EBDB B&B. The EBDB B&B is a comfortable, cozy environment where you and your Eskimo brothers can shack up, hang out, and make more Eskimo brothers.
Can't believe this is what he did with the house I sold him.
Where do you go to put a P in a V? Come on down to the EBDB B&B. If you need any room service or sex toys, just ring the front desk. It's a relaxing, charming, down-home kind of place, and when you hook up, we'll add it to the database. Michael and Jessica slept with each other. Now, if you could just fill out this form, let me know who else you've slept with. I'd appreciate that. How was he? Relax in a hammock or have some iced tea, and please wear a C so you don't get the HIV. And if you're not having sex, just put the disturb sign on the door and someone will be right in to help you get things started. Right this way. There you go. They are right in there.
Wait a second. This is a brothel, right?
Expand your Eskimo family tree at the EBDB B&B. We're not responsible for any STDs. What happens at the EBDB B&B stays at the EBDB B&B. In our video collection. And don't worry, Gupta just watches. This B&B is the place to be if the P is going in the V. Or the M, or if you're lucky, the B. All right, start screwing. So come on down to the EBDB B&B. We'll be waiting for you.
That doesn't look that bad. I'll probably head down.
The EBDB B&B. So for those of you who would like to join the Brotherhood, I suggest mention the podcast. You get a discounted rate, and you can very easily expand your brotherhood or sisterhood. I don't want to whatever you want to call it. And become part of the Joey Gallo family. Anyway, like I've said before, we don't condone our sponsors. We don't buy anything from our sponsors. I would never use one of our sponsors' products, but Again, mention the podcast and the EBDBBNB will give you a discount.
All right, it is power rankings time. And man, this was a week. This was a topsy-turvy week. We had top teams falling and other teams doing things. Let's see. I'm just going to go straight through it. Time is of importance here. And our bottom dweller, back to Matt's Marauders. Matt's Marauders sitting there in that 16 spot. Going up, number 5, Honey Nut Cheerios. You know what? Honey Nut, I told you last week. You bring the win, and the power rankings will show you the love. You didn't keep your end of the deal. So, nothing. Got nothing for you. Number 4, falling from our top spot, Raleigh Fingers Your Sister. You're just lucky you're still... Hold on, stop. Raleigh, Honey Nut, I got to say, you guys are still lucky that you're still in the top 5. You are so lucky that the other teams are such shit, that mediocre middle mass of this league, that you've had losses and you're still in the top 5. I don't know. I don't know if that says how good you were in the weeks before or how bad everybody else is. Anyway, number 3, Red Wine Redbirds. Had the win, beat another top 5 team, but not enough to go up. And a number 2 team. Let me say this. I actually teased the number 1 team earlier in this podcast. I don't know if you caught that. It was pretty obvious. But I teased it. I gave it away. I just put it right out there in front of you. Anyway, our number 2 team is not our number 1 team. Number 2, and this is controversial, I understand. I get it. Number 2, hashtag lawless bearded dragons. I get it. But you know what? Our number 1 team, Juneau Eskimos, topped last week's number 1 team and destroyed them. Absolutely destroyed them. So they get number 1. You got to beat the champ to be the champ. Anyway, congratulations, top 5. No. Congratulations, top 3. Y'all are very deserving. 4 and 5, meh. Everybody else, double meh. Matt's Marauders, I'm feeling for you, buddy. It's not fun to go through a fantasy season, having missed an auction league draft, but hold it together, man, and build for next year, and maybe build for this year. I don't know. I don't know what's out there in the free agent market. I'm not doing anything good with it. Anyway, so that's your power rankings for the heading into week 6, and that's it. That's what all I got. Good luck to everybody. I'm even going to say good luck to Juneau Eskimos. I mean, our matchup is so lopsided this week. I want Juneau to win. I like when Juneau's up there and it's not just a hashtag red wine type of scrum for number 1. Those guys, I mean, I got to say, hashtag's pretty humble, right? He's a pretty humble guy. Red Wine Redbirds. Whoo! Yeah, I'm still thinking we all just need to put all our efforts into toppling that guy. And I mean, Raleigh Fingers Your Sister as well. That always goes without saying. But anyway, good luck to everybody. This week it's going to be weird because I am going to include my opponent, Juneau Eskimos, in that good luck. I don't really care. I'm just trying to get my bonus win. And you know what's really kind of wacky is, I think it was Brick City Mules. They won this week. I might have them confused with Krusty, but I think it was Brick City Mules. Had the win this week. The league standings still say they've lost 5 in a row. I don't even know what to do with that. You go to the standings page, and I don't know what to make of it. I have no idea who are the good teams and who are not the good teams. I mean, I know who the best teams are. Anyway, crazy stuff. Anyway, that's it. That's the week. I am going back out and doing touristy things, and that's it. I'll see you guys hopefully next week. My Spanish sucks. Bueno noches. I guess that's it. Good night. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. I'm out.
These are, for one, my enemies fail. I have the names engraved on it, and then if something bad happens to them where I feel like we've defeated them, professionally speaking, I will sit on camera and pop the champagne and celebrate in their face. So
isn't there something sick about that?
It's diabolical. It motivates me, though. It's like my enemies motivate me. I know a
Why?
lot of people say like success is the best revenge. No, I need to succeed and see my enemies fail. I don't know.